Hey guys, welcome to Man About Cake. I'm your host Joshua John Russell, and this week we're celebrating Mardi Gras. I grew up on the Gulf Coast and used to celebrate Mardi Gras every year. So we're gonna build a 3-tiered cinnamon swirl cake filled with cream cheese frosting, cinnamon granola, and finish it with a beautiful Mardi Gras mask. Let's do it! Let's start by breaking down an 8-inch cinnamon swirl cake. If you guys want this recipe, it's in the eye at the top, or you can get it from the description box below. It smells so good. I love cinnamon. I'm gonna break this one in half. That's new garbage cake. No takers? Nobody? No one? Actually, I want a piece of this garbage cake too. It's so good. The idea is that we're trying to mimic king cake here. You guys ever had king cake?
Is that the one where you eat the baby?
You don't eat the baby. If you get the baby, then you have to buy the cake the next time.
This is really good.
I know.
It tastes like a cinnamon roll and a cake made of baby.
I gotta wipe off this layer. She's so sticky. I think I baked way more cake than I need, but maybe we'll just make a really tall tier. We seriously have like 20 layers of cake here. I'm not even gonna cut that one. We'll save that for another time because this is way too much. I'm gonna clean up my crumbs and then we'll fill it. Before we fill the cake, I'm gonna make a little bit of bourbon simple syrup. So I've got a simple syrup here that's a little bit warm and I have a little bit of bourbon. You gonna taste it? That tastes like Mardi Gras, all right? Woo! All right, I'm gonna stir this up and then we'll soak our layers. This is me coming back from Mardi Gras right there. Half of my head's missing and I haven't been in a couple of years. All right, so we're gonna soak. It's gonna be so good. Bourbon and cinnamon together. Woo! All right, so now we're gonna put in granola. So this is like vanilla granola, I guess, but I call it granola because it's a lot sweeter. So when your guests are eating, you get these nice pops of crunch, and this is cinnamon. You can get the recipe up there, down there. Okay, next layer on. Wow, this guy's sticky. Push that guy down, a little more syrup. Cake is gonna be drunk. Hopefully she'll catch some beats.
It's the granola cam.
Whoa, super tall. All right, we're gonna take our first trip to the cooler and then I'm gonna trim her, crumb coat her, final coat her. She is drunk. Now we're gonna make a mask for our cake, but I need to make the pieces out of gum paste first so they can dry. So I have a little piece of gum paste here, and then I just got this mold I found at a craft store. She's super creepy though. We're gonna make her beautiful. So I've got a piece of gum paste here, and I'm gonna roll out a little bit of cornstarch.
Can she have a New Orleans accent?
Oh yeah. I don't know how to do New Orleans, but
You need to stop that immediately. This gum paste is super tight. Okay, that feels about good. So we're gonna put it over the mold, but I don't want it to stick. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of high ratio shortening, just a little bit on my fingers, and we're just gonna rub over it.
Brandon, it's Horatio shortening again.
Yeah.
It's Horatio. It's high ratio shortening. Okay. So now we're gonna put this over the mold. I'm actually gonna make this a design on top, so I'm not gonna cover the entire mask. But the first thing I wanna do is make sure we secure the nose, because this is the part where it's going to rip, probably. Once that is secure, I'm actually just gonna take a cosmetic sponge and use this to get all my little details. All right, so I'm just gonna take a Dresden tool here, and we're going to kind of shape out the bottom before we cut it. And then we'll take an X-Acto, we'll trim the excess. And now I'm gonna cut her eye holes with this little paisley. So she's like winged eyes. All right, now we gotta try to get them even. And she's crying tears of bourbon. All right, like I said, we'll come back and sand in here. So if you have some little stray pieces, it's fine. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is cut a design into the top of her head. All right, she looks pretty good. I'm gonna set this aside to dry, and then we're gonna make the other pieces of our mask. I'm gonna take the same white gum paste and make a fleur-de-lis mold. So I'll take a little piece, and we're gonna roll it out just a little bit. It's a celebration right before Lent, so you're supposed to like let loose and be crazy, and then you give up something. What are you guys giving up for Lent? Let me know down there. All right, you can see this mold has this little lip here, and as I'm rolling it out, it's actually cutting the mold out for me. I'm gonna take my little pieces out, and then we'll take it out. Look at that detail. Look at the little beads. Now we're gonna make the top part of the mask, which are kind of these little, little thingy things. I'll show you. So I'm actually just gonna cut these out by hand. All right, I'm gonna cut out a skinny triangle. I want it to have some life. So I'm gonna kind of roll the top up a little bit, and then we're gonna lay it over our former here so it has some life to it. So I'll make a bunch more of these and we'll let them dry overnight. So I'm gonna cover the cake in white fondant, but we're gonna do a crackling technique. So I'm gonna roll it out a little bit, and I'm gonna use an airbrush and a torch. I know it sounds crazy, but it's gonna be a really cool effect. So I'm gonna roll this out a bit with a little bit of snow. It doesn't snow in Mardi Gras land. Uh-oh, we got bubs. So I'm gonna airbrush green on one side, purple on one side, and then gold in the middle. Now we're gonna torch it. What this is gonna do, it's gonna kind of like bake the surface so that whenever it sets and it cools and we start to roll it out, it will crackle and look really, really awesome. And if it bubbles a little bit, that's okay, but when it starts to bubble, move away from the bubbles quickly because that's when it will burn. Oh no, it's okay. What did I just do?
Oh, watch out!
See, that's what you don't want to do right there. When you make this line on accident and then burn that part, that's okay, that mark's okay because we're gonna roll it out and it'll be all crackly. Okay, now she's pretty cool to the touch, so I'm gonna continue rolling it out. Put a little bit of powdered sugar on the top. Now comes the cool part. All right, I can already tell some of this didn't get torched enough, so I'm gonna retorch it. Here. All right, that feels about good. It's time to cover our cake. All right, now it's time to stack the cake with bubble tea straws. I'm using a small piece of sandpaper to just get rid of all of my little imperfections, and I've got most of it actually done. But because it's dry, we can actually handle it, and then we can get rid of all these little pieces. There, I think she looks about good. Now we're gonna paint her. So the first thing I'm gonna do is on the bottom half, I'm gonna go over with a little bit of pearl dust. Glue our little fleur-de-lis that we made earlier onto the top here, right in the center. And then I'm gonna paint the top half gold, and then we're gonna pipe some really awesome like filigree work on top of it. All right, the last part of the mask that we have to get color onto are little bitty things that are going to, did we ever figure out what these are called?
Gesture caps.
Gesture cap pointy things. I'm gonna do this with the airbrush. Half of them will be purple and half will be green. All right, I'm gonna let these dry for a few minutes and then we'll flip them over and do the other side, and then I'll do my green ones as well. Okay, now that everything is colored and dried, we're gonna glue this thing together. I have a little bit of white coating chocolate and some free spray. I'm not really sure how this is gonna work. I'm just gonna sort of like place pieces to see what looks good, and then I'll commit and dip it in chocolate. Now I'm gonna use the same white coating chocolate to glue my mask to the middle tier, and then we'll finish up with some piping. Our Mardi Gras cake is complete. I think she turned out super festive. I cannot wait to dig into this one. My cinnamon swirl cake is literally one of my favorite recipes. If you guys want it, click the I above me, or you can get it from the description box below. While you're down there, hit subscribe. Be sure to come back next week. We're gonna make a Black Forest Cateau. Let's eat her. That's a party in my mouth.
Wait, I want to eat the baby.
He's a little cut off. What do you call it?
I'm growing. It's because I'm vegan.
Not this, right? It looks like there's light coming in.
It's just me and the angel.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, in 5.
I mean, we just started, guys. Let's get it together. Hey, girl.